Is that true?
Yeah.
Kash Patel, Fox won't have you on.
Fox Primetime has.
You're the national security advisor to President Trump.
I haven't been on Fox in primetime in 13 months and counting.
Unbelievable. Folks, this is quite complicated. Once again, we need everybody to go to Posobiec, and Grace and Mo, if you can put it up too, with Posobiec's help. The footage, you have to see the raw footage. You must see the raw footage, even on a streaming service. And Jane Zirkle, if maybe we do the email today, Grace, I'm doing some producing here while we do it. If Jane Zirkle and Mo and Grace can work out, maybe we put some on our afternoon newsletter. To understand what we're up against, you have to see the footage of what happened to women and children. It's absolutely brutal. It's heart-rendering. That being said, we have to be cool customers here, because I'm telling you, this is what happens in every war. This is what's happening in Ukraine. This is what happened in the American Civil War. Once it starts happening, you get sucked in to this maelstrom of attrition. One side ups the ante, the other side comes back. And you're talking, what Jeremy Basher was talking about, a full-scale, all-in Middle East war. And our great allies, Saudi Arabia and UAE, all of them, coming in on the side of the Persians and Hamas. Let's be the Muslim Brotherhood, they're all coming together. Outrageous. Let's go to the southern border. And Kash has got some very specific things to talk to us about the southern border. I want to go to Bergquam first. Bergquam, you've been down there. This is our national security. This is the existential national security issue for the United States of America, is the invasion on our southern border. Ben Bergquam.
Traitors in Washington, D.C. have prioritized America's defeat, and they've done the same apparently with our allies. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing the destruction of the West, and we're seeing that in Israel, but that is coming to our doorstep. That's the main point of all of this. As Kash said, we have 200 terrorists that we let go. We don't know where they are. We have potentially thousands more. We have no clue where they are. They're sleeper cells in America right now that are planning very similar style attacks on America, and they're just biding their time. That is coming to our shores because of it's not just ineptitude. It's because of treasonous behavior. These guys have taken Homeland Security, in this case, and turned it into an illegal immigration factory. That's what they're doing right here. They're inviting in our enemies. That's the reality, and that's the point Americans need to know. Yeah, it's well over that, Steve. And so I've got 2 points I want to make. Before I get to that mainstream media clown who tried to make a distinction between Hamas fighters and Hamas terrorists. There is no distinction. They are one and the same. They are all terrorists, and that's what we're dealing with. And the sad thing is, in Washington, D.C., they are supporting the terrorists. We have terrorists in Washington, D.C. that support the terrorists in the Middle East that are inviting terrorists into America. And I want to show you this real quick. I'm going to start with the salt in the wound. So I'm at the Ped West port of entry in San Ysidro, California. It's closed off, closed, cerrado. You can't go in here. It's secured by the National Homeland Security. But we've got a bus lined up. You can see the headlights of that bus right there. That bus is picking up CBP-1 applicants. Right over here, we've got a bus stop. We've got this little gray door you can see in the distance there. That's where they sneak them out. This whole place is closed down only closed down for American citizens going into Mexico, and closed down for Mexican citizens coming into America. This is only being used for CBP-1 illegal entry into America. Now, that's salt in the wound. The real threat was what I saw yesterday, and I want to play some of this footage. I went back to Lukeville, Arizona. And what I saw should shock every single American. As soon as I got there, there was a tent of 150 fighting-age men, mostly from West Africa, Muslim countries in Africa, the Middle East, and India. And what they told me is that they actually, the new place that they're getting all of these people from, right here, you can see the footage right there on the screen. Those tents, that was yesterday, and this is happening every single day. 150 of them. They said they had over 500 yesterday alone in that one location. 500. And what scared me, now I went up, the Border Patrol, you could tell, was so frustrated. They wanted me to get in there and film it and show you close up. As soon as I did that, at the end of this video, I had a guy come out from National Park, said I couldn't be that close. I couldn't film this. I had to go across the street. And our own national park, our national monument down there. This is what's coming into America. But the scariest part, Border Patrol came up to me and he said, you need to know and you need to report this. We're getting huge numbers from Syria right now. And if we can show the picture, they sent me a picture of one of the guys from Syria. If we can show that picture of the guy, this guy just came across our southern border. But this is just one.
Just hang on. Yeah, just hang on. Okay, Cash. Syria's coming across. Hamas is coming across. Hezbollah's coming across. You got Benson reporting. The Chinese Communist Party, I've heard from intelligence sources, not totally confirmed, 100,000 fighting-age men over the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Do the math. Do the math, right? When you have 2+ million people coming in, 100,000 isn't that big of a number, right? Do the math. And when you have America's enemies combining together, Syria, the mullahs, as you said, KGB, the CCP, and other terrorist organizations, along with the Mexican drug cartels who are hosting them at the southern border, of course they're coming in because they are reaching one common goal, the destruction of the United States of America. And the thing about these terrorists is they have no timeline. They have incredible patience. We've seen that with Al-Qaeda before. They will wait 20 years and launch the one strike at the one appropriate time, and then they will go fight a 20-year war, which we will bend the knee on, and they will do it again. And we're seeing the results of that in Israel with our number one partner. And everybody keeps asking me, how did the IDF miss this? Because they are not that big of a force, and they are going against this entire machine that you just laid out. Of course it's possible for these terrorists to come in and lay siege.
We argued about de-escalation. We were right 100% on Ukraine. We argued for de-escalation immediately in Ukraine. Now, a year and a half later, everybody understands. Mike O'Hanlon from Brookings has an absurd strategy paper in the Hill today. I'll get to that later. We were de-escalation. This situation right now, they're going to go into Gaza with ground, but that's only going to cause, I mean, it's going to be, they're going to drop the hammer, but it's going to cause.
And it's a mistake to send in special forces from America. And right now, we don't have any idea of the preparation of the landscape. And watch it. They're going to call for it. The Defense Industrial Complex and Biden's DOD is going to come in and say, oh, SF guys are ready to go. Those are my guys that used to work with.
You mean for hostage rescue?
But we don't have the intelligence infrastructure in place to go in and get after it. As good as those guys are, and those are my dudes, we don't have the ground level game to go in and execute.
Combat troops.